question, please raise your hand. And the first question comes from Gregory Hall. Go ahead, Gregory.
Emery, when we last talked to you during fall camp, you discussed your decision to choose number 0 and wanted to make your mark and just kind of saw your role as that next man up mentality. Do you feel you were able to do that on Saturday?
Absolutely. Of course, Bo was out for the game. So during the week, just going through the week, knowing that he wasn't there practicing, I just had in my mind just next man up. I don't know who I could be. I could possibly be starting, or I just know I'll probably be more in the rotation this week just because we're down a man. So now it's really next man up. So throughout the whole week, that was just my mentality, even though it was my mentality throughout the whole season, this far in the season. Now it just came true that it was literally next man up. So I felt like I was ready for that role, and luckily it worked out good this weekend.
After putting in all that work, what do you think? Where do you think your game has elevated the most?
More so being physical at the line, or just understanding our playbook more, understanding the route concepts, and just understanding the game as a whole. This weekend, it kind of more so, it was kind of nerve-wracking until the first snap. After I got my first catch, then everything just kind of seemed like it clicked and everything was rolling. So I'll just say more so being physical at the line and understanding our playbook more and the game.
Thank you.
All right, back over to Taylor Vipolis.
Hey, Emery, you and Sam Howell go back before you guys even got to Chapel Hill. How do you think that prior relationship has helped the chemistry between you and him on the field now?
I think it helped a lot. I feel like since me and Sam knew each other, like before coming into college, he already knew or had a feel for me, like on the field. But before the game, he had been talking to me like, "Hey, this is your time. Make the best of it." I was like, we just kind of clicked from there. And once he gave me my first ball, then I guess it was just clicking there. Like he was like, okay, now we starting to get in the rhythm, and now he could just give me the ball, more, trust me more to catch the ball, and that was it.
You had a big game on Saturday, but how challenging is it in the early part of the season where you feel like you should be out there playing, but the team is also having the success that they were able to have?
It's challenging, but you can't be selfish about it. You got to be selfless. So you got to come out to practice every day, come out and work like you're about to start, because you never know what can happen. So I just try to keep that mindset, positive mindset. I'm always going to be happy for my guys who, with whatever they do on the field, I'm going to support them, cheer them on the sideline, hype them up. But you always got to be ready for the next man up mentality. So I just go in to work every day at practice with like I'm starting, and then it just happens.
Appreciate it.
All right, next question from CL Brown.
Hey, Emery, when was the exact moment you found out that you were going to make the start last week?
Well, I have been working out all throughout practice last week with the starters. I was getting some reps here and there. But I really didn't figure it out until we had our walkthroughs on Thursday. Well, Thursday and then Friday. Thursday's walkthrough and Friday's walkthrough is when I found out, or kind of had an idea of that I'm starting. And then it kind of confirmed it that Friday night before bed check, when Coach Galloway came in the room, was like, "Hey, you ready for Saturday?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." So it was just kind of, that was more so the confirmation right there. And then just walking out on the field on Saturday when it was time for the offense to go out, and he would call the Blues up. And he was like, "Emery," I was like, "All right, here we go."
How hard is it? I mean, you talked about mentally staying ready, but how hard will it be now, say, when Bo comes back, like to go back to having to come in for more spot duty as opposed to being out there for a lot more snaps?
I don't think it's going to be that hard. Bo's a senior. He's an upperclassman. So at least now, I feel like now I've did my due diligence as far as with coaches, like they could trust me not to put me on the field. But when Bo comes back, that's perfectly fine. But at least I'll know that they trust me to put me in. Whenever he's tired, I can go in and spare him a little bit to where keep his legs fresh.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, let's go over to Ross Martin.
Hey, Emery, you had a pretty interesting recruitment. You were committed to Indiana, then UNC, then Penn State, then back to UNC. What correct me if I'm wrong on that, but what kind of convinced you to come back and commit to UNC, I guess, when Mac Brown and Sam committed as well?
Actually, it was Coach Brown who got me to come back. Cause pretty much, he came like midway December before the early signing period, and I was telling my dad, like, he was like, "Hey, Coach Brown, I want to come and talk to you for a little bit." I'm like, no, I ain't trying to go through this again. Like, we done did it twice, so I think I'm gonna stay true to this one and try to keep it and try to stay with Penn State. But he was like, "No, just hear him out, hear him out." I was like, okay. So he came to the house. I was just thinking it was gonna be Coach Brown, and that was not the case. He brought everybody. It was Hill, Coach Bly, Coach G, Coach Thig. I was like, oh no, he pulling out all the stops for this one. He pulling out all the stops. So he sat down and talked to me, and what I love about Coach Brown, he's just a genuine guy. He cares about his players. It was more so about how I felt and about like my family and getting to know me as a person and not just me as a football player. So that's what kind of brought me back to Carolina. And since it was already my like ideal school to come to, because this was the only school I wanted to come to in the state of North Carolina, then that was just a plus on top of it.
How did Sam's commitment that affect it, or did y'all commit around the same time? I don't really remember the order there.
I think I committed first.
Okay.
And then he committed. I think he committed after the Shrine Bowl. After we spent time at the Shrine Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how it went. Me and him was at the Shrine Bowl together. Matter of fact, it was me. I committed first. Chaffrey committed after me, and then at the Shrine Bowl, we were trying to get him to like, hey, go ahead, and I know you trying to make the decision now, but you might as well go ahead and stay here with us. Go ahead, stay here with us. So and then he committed after the Shrine Bowl.
Great, thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll close out today with Gregory Hall. Go ahead, Gregory.
Emery, I'm curious what you've seen from Virginia's secondary. They've allowed a lot of yards so far, so I'm just curious what you've seen from them on film.
Long rangey guys, good at the line of scrimmage. All of them, I think, majority of their defenses came back this year, so their experience, their season. But it's still some things you could pick in with any defense, anybody defense. So, but from their secondary standpoint with the DBs, long, lengthy guys, quick, real twitchy, and yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Emery, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Emery.
Anytime.